Hey there, Golden Valley. John with the Park and Rec Department bringing you another home rec activity. Today is going to be a little different one. I'm going to get your mind going a little bit, and I'm going to try and teach you a little bit about yourself. And maybe you already know all this stuff, but it should be fun to kind of test and see how much you really know. Because what we're going to do today for the activity is we're going to test your dominant side. And it might be really easy for you to say, oh, I write with my right hand, I do everything right. But we're not only going to look at what hand we write with and which hand we might be dominant, but we're going to look at which eye we might be dominant with. We're going to look at what foot we might be dominant with. And all of these might be a little bit different. So, to get started, you're going to need some supplies today. So, you're going to need a pen and paper or a pencil and paper, something to write with. You're going to need a ball, a soft one if you're doing this inside, because you're going to need to throw or kick it. You're going to need a little tube, an open-ended tube to look through. A cardboard tube from toilet paper or paper towels will also work. And then you will also need a glass of water or something else to drink. So we're going to start with learning about which eye we are dominant. So if you see me glancing off to the side, I've got some notes over here because this stuff gets actually a little interesting, and these notes that I am looking at can also be available for you to look at on the City of Golden Valley's website on the Home Rec page. So to start, when we're looking at our eye, which eye can you wink with? Can you wink with both? Can you wink with one? I can only wink with my left eye, which I've always found very interesting, but for whatever reason, I can only wink with my left eye. So jot down which eye that you can wink with on your little piece of paper. And then from there, take the tube that you've got, and which eye do you look through the tube with? For me, since I wink my left eye, I use my right eye, and it feels funny if I go to my left. So in this instance, I would write down right. Last one. I'm going to have you put your fingers out in front of you and make a triangle, and I want you to look ahead at the wall in front of you and find a little object. And in this instance, I have an outlet on the wall in front of me, and I'm going to move my fingers closer and closer and closer, and I'm going to try and get it as close as I can while still seeing that little object and keeping that in the triangle. Now, what you're going to want to do here is try closing both eyes and see if that view changes. Now, this is hard for me because I can only do that with my right eye, or I can only wink with my left eye. So what you want to do is see when you close one of your eyes, does that object move as far as your vision? When I close my right eye, it totally moves in the triangle versus if I use my left eye. So in this instance, I'm going to write down my right eye. So going forward now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to test your hand. As you can see, I was just writing with my right hand, so that's really, really easy for me to do. Although I have terrible handwriting, so it could have easily been a left hand. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I've got the glass of water right below the phone that I'm recording on here, and I'm going to simply reach forward and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to pick up the water. I used my right hand, but I will also note that that was because that was closest. If I move it a little bit closer on the table, I can also feel free to lift with my left hand, and it doesn't feel weird either one. So this one I can actually use both hands for. Then the last thing is, so I'm going to grab that ball, and I'm going to say which hand do I throw with. That was pretty easy. I throw with my right hand. I've always known that. Throwing with my left hand is very, very weird. So I'm going to write that down. So I have right hand dominant. For the most part, I am right eye dominant. I think that's probably why I can wink my right eye. So far I am on the right side, but now we're going to go, and I'm going to angle the camera here a little bit differently, so bear with me for a second. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room. Give myself a little bit more room here. We're going to do two things. I'm going to grab another ball, This one's soft. And I'm going to see which foot I kick with. I kick with my right foot. So that's pretty easy. Now the last thing to test your foot is I want to get a little bit of a running start, and I want to see which foot I jump with. So I want you to run. This one's good to do in the basement, on a solid floor, maybe outside. Just get a quick run and jump. So the funny thing there is while I kick with my right foot, I actually jump with my left foot better. So again, I think it kind of depends here. I've probably been trained, but I might be more left foot dominant. So anyways, those are some things you can do to test which side is your dominant side. For the most part, it is the right side for me, but it does seem that I have a little bit of crossover as well. What do you do? Again, as we've been asking the last few weeks, if you're comfortable sharing, we'd love to hear if you are right side dominant, left side dominant, or a little bit of ambidextrous, which means both sides. Share that with us using our hashtag GV HomeRec, so we can see and you can share with your neighbors. So hopefully you had fun kind of testing this out. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. But we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, and thanks again for watching. Take care.